Grendel by John Gardner. Historical background. Published in 1971, Grendel is an example of metafiction, fiction about fiction. The plot and characters of the novel come from the 6th century Anglo-Saxon poem Beowulf. Set during the Dark Ages, its principal characters are Danes, Geats, Swedes, and there are brief references to other pagan Germanic tribes, such as the Frisians, Jutes, and Franks. The Norman conquest disrupted the literary culture of Anglo-Saxon England. The practice of alliterative verse continued until the 15th century, primarily in the north and southwest corners of the island. The Anglo-Saxon society revolved around warfare. Chapter 11. I am mad with joy. At least I think it's joy. Strangers have come, and it's a whole new game. I kiss the ice on the frozen creeks. I press my ear to it, honoring the water that rattles below. For by water they came. The icebergs parted as if gently pushed back by enormous hands, and the ship sailed through, sea-eager, foamy-necked, white sails riding the swan road, flying like a bird. Oh, happy Grendel! 15 glorious heroes, proud in their battle dress, fat as cows. I could feel them coming as I lay in the dark of my cave. I stirred, baffled by the strange sensation, squinting into dark corners to learn the cause. It drew me as the mind of the dragon did once. It's coming, I said, more clearly than ever. I heard the muffled footsteps on the dome of the world, and even when I realized that the footsteps were nothing but the sound of my own heart, I knew more surely than before that something was coming. I got up, moved past stone icicles to the pool and the sunken door. My mother made no move to prevent me. A whale passed, long dark shadow 2 miles out. The sky grew light at my back. Then I saw the sail. I was not the only one who saw them coming. A lone Danish coast guard stood bundled in furs, his horse beside him, and he shaded his eyes against the glint of the icebergs beyond the sail and watched the strangers come in swiftly toward land. And then, quick as wolves, but mechanical, terrible, the strangers leaped down, and with stiff, ice-crusted ropes as gray as the sea, the sky, the stones, they moored their craft. The coast guard mounted, snatched up his spear, and rode loudly down to meet them. His horse's hooves shot sparks. I laughed. They were here for war. The coast guard was a goner. What are ye, bearers of armor, dressed in mail coats, that have thus come riding your tall ship over the sea road, winter-cold ocean, here to Daneland? Thus spake the coast guard. Wind took his words and sent them tumbling. I bent double, soundlessly laughing till I thought I'd split. They were like trees, these strangers. Their leader was as big as a mountain, moving with his forest toward the guard. Nevertheless, the Dane shook his spear. "Attaboy," I whisper. "A shadow box. If they come at you, bite 'em in the leg." He scolded and fumed and demanded their lineage. They listened with folded arms. At last the Coast Guard's voice gave out, and the leader answered. His voice, though powerful, was mild. Voice of a dead thing, calm as dry sticks in ice when the wind blows over them. He had a strange face that little by little grew unsettling to me. It was a face, or so it seemed for an instant, from a dream I had almost forgotten. The eyes slanted downward, never blinking, unfeeling as a snake's. He had no more beard than a fish. He smiled as he spoke, but it was as if the gentle voice, the childlike yet faintly ironic smile, were holding something back, some magician power that could blast stone cliffs to ashes as lightning blasts trees. "We're Yeats," he said, "the hearth companions of King Hygelac. You've heard of my father, a famous old man named Ecgtheow," he said. "We've come as friends for a visit with your lord King Hrothgar, protector of the people. Be so kind as to give us some advice, old man. We've come on a fairly important errand." The hint of irony in the smile grew darker, and he looked now not at the Coast Guard, but at the Coast Guard's horse. "A certain thing can't very well be kept hidden, I think. You'll know if it's true, as we heard back home, that I don't know what kind of enemy stalks your hall at night, kills men, so they say, and for some reason scorns your warriors. If it's so," he paused. His eyebrows cocked and glanced at the Coast Guard and smiled. "I've come to give Hrothgar advice." You could see pretty well what advice he'd give. His chest was as wide as an oven. His arms were like beams. "Come ahead," I whispered. "Make your play. Do your worst." But I was less sure of myself than I pretended. He was dangerous, and yet I was excited, suddenly alive. Then the Coast Guard turned his horse and led them up to the mead hall. I did not follow. I stayed in the ruin, prowling where long-dead giants prowled, my heart aching to know what the strangers were doing up at the mead hall. but it was daylight. I'd be a fool to go up and see. I couldn't tell back in my cave whether I was afraid of them or not. Who knows what all this means? I tried to think whether or not I was afraid of the stranger, and the thought made no sense. I have sometimes watched men do mysterious things. Afraid or not, I would go to the meat hall, I knew. I toyed, of course, with the ridiculous theory that I'd stay where I was safe, like a sensible beast. Am I not free? As free as a bird? I whispered, leering, maniacal. I have seen, I embody, the vision of the dragon, absolute final waste. I saw long ago the whole universe as not my mother, and I glimpsed my place in it, a whole. Yet I exist, I knew. Then I alone exist, I said. It's me or it. What glee, that glorious recognition. The cave, my cave, is a jealous cave. For even my mamma loves me not for myself, my holy specialness, but for my sonness, my possessedness, my displacement of air as visible proof of her power. I have set mamma aside gently, picking her up by the armpit as I would a child, and so have proved that she has no power but the little I give her by momentary whim. So I might set aside Hrothgar's whole kingdom and all his thanes if I did not, for sweet desire's sake, set limits to desire. If I murdered the last of the sidelings, what would I live for? I'd have to move. So now, for once unsure of victory, I might set limits to desire, go to sleep, put off further raids till the Yates go home, for the world is divided, experience teaches, into two parts, things to be murdered and things that would hinder the murder of things. And the Yates might reasonably be defined either way. So I whispered, wading through drifts waist high, inexorably on my way to Hrothgar's meat hall. Darkness lay over the world like a coffin lid. I hurried. It would be a shame to miss the boasting. I came to the hall, bent down at my chink, peered in. It was a scene to warm the cockles of your heart. The Danes were not pleased, to say the least, that the Yates had come to save them. Honor is very big with them. They'd rather be eaten alive than be bailed out by strangers. For old time's sake, I would have to kill the stranger, and for the honor of Hrothgar's thanes. The Danes sat sulking. I covered my mouth to keep from cackling. The king presided, solemn and irritable. He knew that his thanes couldn't handle me alone, and he was too old and tired to be much impressed, however useful it might be to his kingdom, by their fathead ideas of honor. Then up spoke Unferth, Ecglaf's son, top man in Hrothgar's hall. You may have had successes, I haven't heard, but wait up for Grendel for one night's space, and all your glorious successes will be done with. The Danes applauded. The stranger smiled on, his downward slanting eyes like empty pits. I could see his mind working, stone cold, grinding like a mill wheel. When the hall was still, he spoke, soft voice, his weird gaze focused nowhere. Ah, friend Unferth, I am stronger in the ocean than any other man alive. I swam for 5 nights, and then a storm came up. Icy wind from the north, black sky, raging waves. The turmoil stirred up the sea monsters. One of them attacked me, dragged me down to the bottom where the weight of the sea would have crushed any other man. But it was granted to me that I might kill him with my sword, which same I did. Then others attacked. They pressed me hard. I killed them, 9 other water-nickers, robbed them of the feast they expected at the bottom of the sea. In the morning, sword ripped, they lay belly up near the shore. Now the thanes weren't laughing. The stranger said it all so calmly, so softly, that it was impossible to laugh. He believed every word he said. I understood at last the look in his eyes. He was insane. Even so, I wasn't prepared for what came next. Nobody was. Solemn, humorless despite the slightly ironic smile, he suddenly cut deep. I don't recall hearing any glorious deeds of yours, Unferth. The hall was numb. The stranger was no player of games. And yet he was shrewd, you had to grant. Whether or not they believed his wild tale of superhuman strength, no thane in the hall would attack him again and risk the slash of that mild, coolly murderous tongue. Old King Hrothgar, for one, was pleased. The madman's single-mindedness would be useful in a monster fight. Again I found something peculiar happening to my mind. The harder I stared at his gleaming shoulders, the more uncertain I was of their shape. The room was full of a heavy, unpleasant scent I couldn't place. The queer little spasm of terror passes. Except for his curious beardlessness, there is nothing frightening about the stranger. I've broken the backs of bulls no weaker than he is. Heroism is more than noble language. Dignity, inner heroism, that's the trick. Glorious carbuncle of the soul. Except in the life of the hero, the whole world's meaningless. Hrothgar told the hall that the stranger was like a son to him. You already have more sons than you need, the queen laughed lightly. Hrothgar laughed too, though he didn't seem to get it. The stranger smiled on, but closed his eyes. He knew a doomed house when he saw it. I had a feeling, but for one reason or another he kept his peace. I grew more and more afraid of him, and at the same time, who can explain it, more and more eager for the hour of our meeting. The stranger waits on, as patient as a grave mound. I too wait, whispering mad like him. We wait. The king retires, and his people leave. The Yeats build up the fire, prepare to sleep, and now, silence, darkness, it is time. Chapter 12. I touched the door with my fingertips, and it burst. For all its fire-forged bands, it jumps away like a terrified deer, and I plunge into the silent, hearth-lit hall with a laugh that I wouldn't much care to wake up to myself. I am swollen with excitement, bloodlust, and joy, and a strange fear that mingle in my chest like the twisting rage of a bonfire. They're all asleep, the whole company. I can hardly believe my luck. My wild heart laughs, but I let out no sound. Swiftly, softly, I will move from bed to bed and destroy them all, swallow every last man. I am blazing, half crazy with joy. For pure mad prank, I snatch a cloth from the nearest table and tie it around my neck to make a napkin. I delay no longer. I seize up a sleeping man, tear at him hungrily, bite through his bone locks, and suck hot, slippery blood. He goes down in huge morsels, head, chest, hips, legs, even the hands and feet. My face and arms are wet, matted, the napkin is sopping, the dark floor steams. I move on at once and I reach for another, whispering, chewing the universe down to words, and I seize a wrist. A shot goes through me. Mistake. It's a trick. His eyes were open all the time, cold-bloodedly watching to see how I work. The eyes nail me now as his hand nails down my arm. I jump back without thinking. Now he's out of his bed, his hand still closed like a dragon's jaw on mine. Nowhere on Middle Earth, I realize, have I encountered a grip like his. My whole arm's on fire, incredible, searing pain. It's as if his crushing fingers are charged like fangs with poison. I scream, facing him, grotesquely shaking hands. Dear long-lost brother, kinsman Thane, and the timbered hall screams back at me. I feel the bones go, ground from their sockets, and I scream again. I am suddenly awake. The long pale dream, my history, falls away. The mead hall is alive, great cavernous belly, gold-adorned, blood-stained, howling back at me, lit by the flickering fire in the stranger's eyes. He has wings, is it possible? And yet it's true. Out of his shoulders come terrible fiery wings. I jerk my head, trying to drive out illusion. The world is what it is and always was. That's our hope, our chance. Yet even in times of catastrophe, we people it with tricks. Grendel, hold fast to what is true. Suddenly, darkness. My sanity has won. He's only a man. I can escape him. I plan. I feel the plan moving inside me like thaw-time waters rising between cliffs. When I'm ready, I give a ferocious kick. But something's wrong. I have fallen, slipped on blood. He viciously twists my arm behind my back. By accident, it comes to me. I have given him a greater advantage. I could laugh. And now something worse. He's whispering, spilling words like showers of sleet. His mouth 3 inches from my ear. I will not listen. His syllables lick at me, chilly fire. His syllables lick at me, chilly fire. His syllables lick at me, chilly fire. His syllables lick. As you see it, it is. While the seeing lasts, dark nightmare history, my promise, time is the mine, by that I kill you. I do not listen. I am sick at heart. I have been betrayed before by talk like that. The stranger's companions encircle us, useless swords. I could laugh if it weren't for the pain that makes me howl. If you win, it's by mindless chance. Make no mistake. First you tricked me, and then I slipped. Accident. He answers with a twist that hurls me forward, screaming. The Thanes make way. I fall against a table and smash it, and wall timbers crack. Nevertheless, it was by accident that he got my arm behind me. He penetrated no mysteries. He was lucky. If I'd known he was awake, if I'd known there was blood on the floor when I gave him that kick. I stare down amazed. He has torn off my arm at the shoulder. Blood pours down there where the limb was. I cry. I bawl like a baby. He stretches his blinding white wings and breathes out fire. I run for the door and through it. I move like wind. I stumble and fall. Get up again. I'll die. I howl. Mama, Mama, I'm dying. But our love is history. It was an accident. I bellow back. I will cling to what is true. Blind, mindless, mechanical, mere logic of chance. I am weak from loss of blood. No one follows me now. I stumble again, and with my one weak arm I cling to the huge twisted roots of an oak. I look down past stars to a terrifying darkness.